Hello everybody, I am PxlGrease. Welcome to this video where we talk about the right way to game. Man, this is a little bit of a topic that's near and dear to my heart, so hopefully I won't get too ranty here on the video, but no promises. I am PxlGrease. I have been playing retro games since retro games were current games. I've been playing for about 32 years. It started with the NES way back when I was very little. And I have been streaming games on Twitch for about 13 months. Make sure you check me out there, twitch.tv/PxlGrease. And I've been involved with producing video game content, whether it be on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, for around 3 years. So I've seen some posts in Discords and some tweets and things, even some stuff in my own stream that make me feel like people think there's just one way to play a game and enjoy that. And I'm really here to tell you today that there's so many ways to enjoy a game that just because you enjoy a game a certain way doesn't mean that's how someone else should enjoy that game. I'm going to talk about a couple things, some that have affected me personally and others that I've seen said or mentioned on Discords or tweets or whatever. And I'd just like to address those, and hopefully if you're someone kind of struggling with this, I can help you out a little bit with what I'm going to say. So I'm going to start with using save states. So this actually is the reason I made this video. I saw a Discord message on one of the Discords I'm a member of, where someone was basically bashing on someone else for using save states while they were playing through an NES game. And of course, you know, NES game, immediately my ears perked up, and then it kind of brought up this discussion that I've had with other gaming friends of mine that have played through NES games, and some of them are streamers and they use save states. I personally do not use save states when I play through games unless I am worried that it's going to throw away hours and hours and hours and hours of work. But that doesn't mean that I am against the use of save states. I think save states are amazing. So back in the day, in the NES era, we didn't have the technology to do those kind of save states, right? You could do passwords, and there were certain spots in the game where you could save the game, but it was really, you know, very limited. Also, game companies at the time didn't really know what they were doing. You know, they've learned a lot through the years. And I think the fact that the save states weren't there in the original games is really a big thing that I see people use as to why you shouldn't use save states now when you go play through games. So I strongly disagree with that, with that stance. So here's the beauty of save states, right? Save states allow you to play through the game at a much quicker pace because you don't have to go back so far if you die. And I think save states really help with that. Like, save states are amazing for that. Again, it's allowing another group of folks that may not have been able to complete a game without a lot of time and effort to play through the game and actually see it to completion themselves. And to me, that is a win, right? I don't understand why that gets bashed on so much. I think save states are a great tool, and I think there'd be a lot of speed runners that wouldn't be able to do speed runs at all if they didn't have save states. Speaking of speed runners, that's my next point. So this one's actually kind of dear to my heart. It actually occurred to me. So when I say this, it's going to sound like someone came in and they were bashing me. They really weren't, but it really opened my eyes to a mentality that I think is out there with retro games. Speedrunning isn't the only way to play through a game. So just because someone can beat the game really fast and knows the fastest route to take, not the best, just the fastest, doesn't mean that that is the best way to play through the game or even the only way to play through the game. Speedrunning focuses on one aspect of the game, and that is how fast can you complete the game. There's a multitude of other things you can focus on in a game though. How about how strong can your characters be in an RPG? Can you level all the way up to 99? That has nothing to do with how fast the game is, yet it's still another way you can enjoy the game. Speedrunning is really popular, and I think a lot of folks consider it the esport of retro, and I really enjoy watching Arcus and other folks speedrun, both small and big streamers, speedrun games. But I also keep in mind that it's only one way to play through the game, and there's multiple other ways to do so. Speedrunning uses a recipe, right? So it's like cooking from a recipe. There's a list of things you're supposed to do in a certain order. And again, I don't want to belittle the talent that it takes or the amount of practice that it takes to do those things, because a lot of them are pixel perfect jumps, and there's a lot of things that are really difficult. So by no means am I glossing over this, or do I mean to anyway. But it's a set of instructions to follow, right? It's memorizing a set of instructions and doing that set of instructions for the most part. Now, you have members in the community that do pathing. They try to find other ways to do things quicker, and that's fine. But again, it's one goal. It's not the only way to play through the game, and I'm kind of hoping that this will help discourage that, in the future for other streamers that just want to play through the game and enjoy it. Games to me are meant to be enjoyed, and if I don't enjoy speedrunning a game, then I'm not going to speedrun a game. And I think you should have the same mentality. I think it's really important for you to enjoy the game the way you want to. What about using walkthroughs? So for me, walkthroughs it really depends on the scenario that I'm in. If I'm playing games myself, I prefer to play them blind. That means I'm not using a walkthrough at all. I'm trying to make it through the game without using anything that would either give away the story, give away hidden things that I might miss, give away any of that kind of stuff. Because I want to discover that myself, and if I'm not good enough to discover that, then I don't deserve to discover that. That's my opinion. That completely changes though when I'm streaming. So when I'm streaming games, especially right now I'm streaming Dragon Quest III, a lot of times I'll use a walkthrough just to keep me going in the right direction, because I don't feel like it's as entertaining from the chat's perspective to watch me stumble around for hours trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go next. Now, some folks would probably disagree with that. Some folks would like to see me stumble around for hours. You guys are evil. Ultimately, either way is acceptable and should be acceptable. If you want to play through a game and use a walkthrough so that you can experience the game and see everything and get all the items and get everything that you want to get out of the game, that is fine. Like that is absolutely okay. If you don't want to do that and you prefer to play the games the way I do personally offline, then that's fine too. Either way is perfectly fine. It really depends on if you want to use a reference or if you just want to play through the game. I mean, look at movies. Some people want to read all the facts and all the hype and everything they can about a movie before they go and see it. And other folks prefer to just walk into the movie and watch it. Either way is perfectly fine, and gaming is exactly the same way. There's so many ways you can enjoy it. You can enjoy gaming a lot more ways than you can, watching movies, in my opinion. So here's another one that I think a lot of folks argue over. You see the argument of original hardware versus emulator versus, something in between. I mean, people get really defensive about this. I don't really understand why. So the original hardware, especially for the retro space specifically, original hardware requires a lot to get up there and running. It's possible to get it all working. It requires some equipment, and it requires some finagling of different software. I'm looking at you, Elgato, to get the image that you want. And some people don't want to spend the time to do that. Some people would prefer just to use an emulator. Of course, I'm stressing that you want to use an emulator only if you're legally able to, which means if you use a ROM, then you need to own an actual copy of the cartridge. So we're talking Dragon Quest III. I own Dragon Quest III. I've got about 200 NES games in my library, but I prefer, if I'm going to stream them, to stream them through an emulator. I don't really care. I don't care if someone plays the game on original hardware. As long as they're legally able to play the game, then let them play the game on whatever they want to. So then what is gaming the right way? Gaming the right way is whatever way you choose to enjoy gaming. There is no one right way. And I think it's silly for us as a community of gamers to look down on someone that doesn't play the game the same way we do. I guess I'm getting a little ranty here. My whole point about this video really is enjoy games the way you want to enjoy the games. You know, don't judge other people for playing games different than you play games. That doesn't mean they're playing games the wrong way. Now, I will say there's one exception, and that is, you know, if you're cheating and you're cheating in multiplayer. If you're playing a multiplayer game and you're cheating on that game and it impacts other people in a negative way, to me that's not okay, and I don't think you should do that. Otherwise, if it's a single player game and any of these things you feel like for some reason makes you less of a gamer because you play that, just squash that. Like, you are absolutely a retro gamer, and the retro community, my community, would welcome you with open arms regardless of how you play your games. I guess I'll use this opportunity to mention I have a Discord. I'll post a link down below that is really all about enjoying games the way you want to enjoy them. It's retro focused, but we also have some other folks in there that stream different games, so make sure you stop by. I'm starting my push to partner, and I would really appreciate it if you like retro games. If you stop by and checked out the stream, throw me a follow. If you have any comments about what I've said here in the video, feel free to drop those below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Until next time, this is PxlGrease telling you to enjoy your game.